Squatch Sr. back at you again here. Heading for the shop. This time it's not to work on a Super M. Kind of give you guys a little bit of a teaser the other day that sap has started to run. So, got a bag here. It's looking pretty good. I'd say we're looking at approximately a gallon in there. I'll get in here. See how she's running. See her dripping there. It don't run steady. These things run at a steady drip all the time. So that started out empty this morning. Last night we got some frost, so today it's run really good. I emptied these last night, and virtually from all day yesterday we had nothing running. What happened there is it never froze the night before, so if it doesn't freeze the night before, the sap really slows down during the day. Yesterday I collected probably about 9 gallons, I'm estimating. So anyway, I'll go out, head for the shop, get the buckets, and we'll start collecting this sap. I got a helper that's going to do some helping with me today. So.
Well, is that probably a couple quarts, maybe? Not quite.
3.
It's kind of a slow tree today.
They're all better than they were yesterday. There was nothing in these yesterday morning. You know, down here, one of our snowmobile slash hiking trails we use in the winter. Still kind of slippery, got to watch your footing here. Got 3 bags down in this area. Should be one right up in there, and 2 of them down here a little bit farther. So we'll see what these are holding for us.
That one doesn't look too bad.
Yeah,
It's up to probably there.
yeah. You see how nice and clear that is?
Looks like water right now, but it is sticky.
Not quite as much in this one. Some trees run faster than others.
Yeah, that's just got a drip hanging on it. Yeah, that looked like it did pretty well today.
Bag number 6.
Of course, this clump of trees has done pretty well the last couple of years.
Yeah, not bad.
All right, he's got to brave high water and everything else to get out to this one. That was worth coming out for, though.
Best bag in this one so far this year.
What was this, number 7?
7.
Numbers 8 and 9 here. These usually do pretty well here.
Yeah, this one did real good.
All right, getting closer in to the house and buildings now. In front of the old snowplow. I think this is the fullest one yet. I don't think I've ever seen that one get that full.
No,
that's approaching half full.
That's good since 9 o'clock this morning.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot in there. Wow. Just about filled the bucket.
Those are 3 bags.
Nice. So we got number 11 and 12 here. And it's funny, we've been out in the sticks and the brush and waiting the high water and everything else. And we have all the lackluster producers out of the way. You get up closest to the house and they just keep getting better and better. Gallon in each one though, anyway.
Close.
There's about 2 gallons in there. Lucky number 13 right here. This has probably been, I'd say, consistently the best producing tree. Year by year by year.
Year after year, it's always done good.
Right next to the garage. Don't even have to go far to get it. And that's all the rounds, right?
That's it. Let's see what we got for total. Okay, here's our collection for tonight. 2 5-gallon buckets virtually full. And I'd say we're just shy of 4 gallons in that one. So I'm going to estimate about 13.5 to 14 gallons. That's pretty good on one take, because my best day so far has been 19.5. But I pick up in the morning and the evening. Today I just did the evening because this morning there was nothing in the bag. So really satisfied with this. Tomorrow we're going to probably get into the cookers and how I go about cooking this. Well, here we are the next morning. Sun shining. Froze last night. Got down to 23. What I'll do, I'll check. This is kind of my indicator of how the run went last night. Check my bag out over here. This is the last one we picked up last night. If you remember, that thing had probably a gallon plus in it. Anyway, we'll just check and see what we got down here. We're a little slushy, so yeah, we did get some frost. Let's check her and see what she's doing, see if she's starting to drip yet with the sun shining. Yeah, it's not much happening there yet. I kind of just, yeah, I don't get an indication on the thing. So anyway, we'll head out, get the cookers ready, and start cooking some of this stuff we got yesterday. Okay, here's kind of a quick rundown on my Rube Goldberg cooker I got here. What I did, I had an old gas-fired LP hot water heater that was going bad on me. I replaced it. So what I did, I took the burner assembly off the bottom, used the bottom of the heater, redid some of the plumbing, and last fall, if you remember, we did do a line from the LP tank, 500 gallon there, run her up here to the back of the garage. And when I hooked that up, what I did, I come out of the ground, put a T on. The left side goes to the heater for the garage, and the right side I put a tap on for my maple syrup. So that's where I'm getting my gas supply from a 500 gallon tank. We should be in good shape from that because they just filled it up last week, so I don't think I'm going to run short on LP at all. What I did with the skin on the hot water heater, this is my bucket that I boil in. I start out with about 6 gallons, all stainless steel. I put that part of the sleeve, I screwed the side together if you can see. I throw that over the outside of the bucket, kind of helps protect the keeps the heat maintained in there. Then the other half I kind of put on the outside edge around, keeps the wind from affecting the burner. That's my first initial cook down of this sap. So anyway, I've been really impressed the way this thing's working, and it's time to get some stuff going. Okay, got our heating here, got my surrounds all installed. I start out generally with probably 5 to 6 gallons in there. As you can see, it pretty much looks pretty clear yet, so we'll let this cook. I can probably do, it all depends how many hours a day I cook. I can do probably 12 to 15 gallons to get it into my second stage. I'll kind of go through how I do 3 stages on my cooking here. So anyway, we got her heating. We'll let her get to boiling here. Okay, this is another cooker I have. It's just one of them cheap old turkey cookers. I only use this, put it into operation when I have a lot of sap. It's really flowing. I want to get her cooked down fast. So this is another primary stage here I do with this one. I don't like to use it if I don't have to. It's hard to regulate the flame in it to get a nice clean flame. It kind of gets outside a pot kind of sooty and black and stuff. So I'll only use this if I absolutely need to. Just got it hooked onto a 20-pound LP cylinder. Got 4 or 5 of them around here I keep filled just for this operation. So anyway, I'll get into my final stage cooker here next. Okay, this is my third cooker assembly. All it is an old barbecue grill that I got. Runs on a 20-pound LP cylinder. And what I do, I just utilize the side burner. The rest of it's pretty well, we got to replace it with a new one. So this works perfect to finish. Well, I usually do the second and third stage right here because I can regulate the heat a whole lot better. Because as these things finish up, you got to really be careful you don't boil it over. Happened a few times down inside. Some pretty crusty stuff where that sugary stuff gets in there and cooks on. It's really hard to get off. And what I do, I just use a smaller stainless steel pan. Made a wind baffle around the edge. Keeps, if it gets a little windy out here, keeps the flame from blowing out, and I can regulate my temperatures a lot better. So anyway, this is my second and third stage operation here. Okay, I'll kind of go through the 3 stages I do here to process my syrup. You can hear the cooker in the background here, but anyway, you start out, it's clear sap. You can see right to the bottom of the bowl there. After I do my primary first boil, I get it down to about this stage. So that would be from here to here would be stage 1. Stage 2, I put it on the grill over there and just start processing this down farther to this stage. You can see, start out clear, we start getting into a real light amber, then into a darker amber. So this would be my finish after stage 2. Stage 3 is going to be processing this into syrup. So anyway, it kind of gives you a visual about what the stuff looks like as you cook it down. Final product, you can have different type of colors in your syrup. It all depends, from what I understand, the sugar content dictates the color on it. So anyway, start boiling down, start boiling this down to get it into this stage. Right now, out of 88 gallons, I got 3 of these bowls full, which is about 2 gallons of almost finished product each. So that would give me right now a total of 6 gallons to do a final process on. Well, here it is. It's a little afternoon. Just got done with lunch and stuff. Got everything cooked, so might give an update of how things are going here. You can see the comfy chair here. Wife's getting involved now. This is kind of her area that she takes care of the final cooking and stuff, and probably canning with a little assistance from me, but this is her area here. So anyway, let's go see how things are doing. I started cooking down some of the stuff and adding to stuff for the third stage now, and kind of hard to see, we've got a lot of steam going, but she's doing a pretty good rolling boil right there. She's evaporating pretty quickly now. This is a stage you really got to start watching it. So anyway, that's been her job this afternoon. She's been bringing a book out here, reading and stuff, and said really enjoying herself. About 50 degrees out here right now. Another little thing I do is when I empty these containers, what I do is I take them out to fire. I'll put them in the garage. I'll let them cool down overnight, and then I will dump them into bowls. And after they sit overnight, they have what they call settlings. And what I do is I'll just put that in a separate bowl, and hopefully you can see this, but then I'll take and pour the clear off the top. And you can see kind of what I call mud in there, but it's the settlings from the cooking process. And I'll let a little bit pass in through there. Then I'll throw that in the cooker, but as you can see, it gets pretty cloudy. I'll probably let that set a little more. I'll add some more to it, but eventually that stuff in the bottom, that will get thrown out. So anyway, that's going pretty good here. Go check out and see how the sap is running today. Hopefully you can see we're starting to get a pretty good drip. We're starting to get some volume in the bag. It started dripping pretty good about, I'd say 10 to 10:30. Drip very seldom. But you can see now, that's about 12:30 now. It's really starting to run good. So it should have a pretty good take by this evening. Okay, here's the big cooker going that we do the first stage in. We'll lift the cover and see how things are doing here. Yeah, got a nice rolling boil. So far, this is 9 gallons with this. So far, I got a 5-gallon bucket left to go. Going down actually pretty fast, and by this evening, I should have the first stage of this done, ready for the second. Okay, we got a batch just about done here. What we do now, you kind of showed you earlier how I kind of do a separation of the sediment and stuff. So before we do the final process, we got a filter system we do here next, and then after this we'll do the final filter. So what I'll do, I'll put these bags together. I got this one that we install inside of this one. And what we'll do, we'll pour it in here. One person holds the bag, the other one pours. You do this real carefully. This stuff is pretty warm yet. I like to do this warm. It filters better. It runs through the bag and the filter's a lot better. There you can see some muddy stuff coming.
Yeah, real dirty down there.
And then she's actually pretty clean. We'll just let her drip for a while. Next process is the final. Don't have to filter anymore or anything. We should have pretty much caught everything. You can kind of see a little bit of stuff in there, but actually I've had it a lot worse. So pretty satisfied with the way this batch come out. Well, starting to shut down operations for this evening. It's getting on about 6 o'clock. Got this one cooling down. Do a filter on this one just before it's almost, she's looking and smelling really good. So let that cool down a little bit before we filter it. By the indication of the bags, this is the one that we usually do last. It's every bit as much as it had yesterday, so we'll go around, gather, and we'll see what we got at the end. Well, here's our take for tonight. We got 3 5-gallon buckets, virtually full, so I'm going to call it 15 gallons. It's close enough for me. That's probably a gallon to a gallon and a half better than I did yesterday. Pretty impressed with that. That's 13 taps. That's over a gallon per tap. So for my trees, that's pretty good. Anyway, another batch to cook down. Well, today is the last day of gathering. We're going to go around, collect what we have, pull all the taps, and be done with the collection for this year. A lot of boiling down to do yet. I figure I'm going to have about 120 gallons of sap, which should be approximately 3 gallons of syrup. And that's an awful lot of syrup for a year. So anyway, we'll get into pulling taps and get this taken care of and see what we end up with. Taps and bags are all pulled. All that's left of that operation is to clean up the stuff, put it away. As you can see, we had some snow last night. I estimated about 7 inches on my pocket ruler, 6-inch ruler. And it's really settled now this afternoon. But the yard is a disaster. I mean, this stuff is really wet and heavy and it really brought a lot of limbs down. So anyway, all we got left now is to finish boiling it and canning. Now here we are, we're in the final stage. We're doing the final cook down, getting it ready to make syrup. And to do that, we have this hydrometer setup that we use right here. Put it in there, get it all tempered. And we have between the 2 red marks, we're looking at probably 32 to 36. I go on the light side, I'll go to the 32, possibly even the 31 in there. So, okay, let's do a test and see where we're at. I'll just kind of let everything temper here first before I fill her up. Make sure we're full here. We'll drop the hydrometer in and see where we're floating at here. Just barely starting to float, and we're probably about 27, 28. So we have a little farther to go yet on this batch. It's getting close. You can see by the bubbling and stuff. She'll start getting foamy. That's when you really got to start watching it close so it don't boil over on you. If she boils over, she'll make one big mess. Okay. Here we are for the final test. I mean, she's looking like syrup in there, nice and dark. Really got her turned down just as low as we can just to keep her from foaming right now. So we'll get everything kind of tempered up here. And be real careful dumping, it'll foam on you. Okay, we're looking about 31 to 32, just in the top of that top red line. Looks like I'm just right on the top. I like to leave it there. I don't go down any farther, so we're going to call this a batch, the first one out of 2. Okay, now that the syrup has passed the hydrometer test, we're into the canning stage. And this is where the expert wife of mine takes over for the canning part of this stuff. So I'm going to let her explain her procedure, and we'll go through the process of doing a jar and see how that turns out.
Okay, good morning everybody. I've washed the jars and I've boiled them for 10 minutes because they need to be sterilized. And I've just left the heat on low because the jars need to retain that heat. The syrup has been warmed between 180 and 185 degrees. And my lids are warmed up too. So, I'm going to grab the first jar. I like to fill them to within 3/8 of an inch of the top. And always wipe the top, even though you have that nice gadget there. You still could have gotten something on the rim. Well, got a little wand with a magnet on the end. Screw the lids on tight. And then I'm going to do something that's going to sound crazy, but I'm going to turn it upside down to cool.
Don't ask why they turn it upside down, but it works every time. Surprising. So
It works well.
anyway, that's our procedure there.
In the morning, I'll come and check these. I'm not going to touch them now until morning, until they're completely cool. Then I'll check the seals and I can explain how it seals. So,
Looks good enough to eat right now to me. Okay, here's the finished product. We got 36 12-ounce jars and 2 pints equals to 3.75 gallons of finished sap. Started out with 105 gallons, gives me a ratio of approximately 28 to 1. Hydrometer reading at 31. The stuff is really sweet and seems to be a little bit thicker than what I usually get. So anyway, real satisfied the way things turned out. Here's kind of a visual of the finished product right here. So kind of a nice clear to amber, kind of pretty amber colored. So some might consider this a little on the darker side. To me, it all tastes good. Anyway, this is what we ended up with. Things went real well, and glad it's finally done. Gets to be a chore at the end. Starts out fun, ends up to be a job sometimes. So it's the way we process syrup here in Minnesota.